Habits are behaviors that are repeated over long periods of time. A habit is so ingrained in your behavior that you may not even realize you are doing it. Habits can be good, bad, or even neutral. A good habit could be eating fruits or vegetables with every meal. A habit that is neutral might be subconsciously sticking your tongue out when you concentrate. You might consider biting your nails to be a bad habit. Good and neutral habits do not have negative impacts on your life. In fact, good habits may improve your health or quality of life. Bad habits, on the other hand, may cause problems now or in the future. Think about your own behavior patterns. Where do you usually sleep and how many hours each night? What does your morning routine look like? How are your eating habits? Do you make time for exercise, self-care, or relaxation during a typical day? These are the everyday behaviors where habits can be formed: good, bad, or neutral. Nearly everyone has a bad habit or two that negatively affects their life in the present or may result in problems in the future. The good news is that bad habits can be changed and even replaced with good habits. This task is not always easy and takes time. After all, it takes time to form a habit in the first place, so changing that behavior will also take time, and quite often, a significant amount of effort. Changing habits may not be easy, but there are certain strategies that make success more likely. First of all, it is helpful to identify which habits you want to change. It may be helpful to write them down in a journal or diary. Next, choose one habit to change at a time. You might choose the habit that you think is the worst and needs immediate attention. Or maybe you choose a habit that you think will be the easiest to change and work your way up to those you feel might be harder to change. Whichever you decide, it is important to focus on only one at a time. Trying to change many habits at once can cause you to feel overwhelmed and may even make you want to give up entirely. By focusing on one habit for a significant amount of time, you ensure that your undivided attention and effort is poured into accomplishing the change you wish to see. Once you've successfully replaced one negative habit with better patterns, you can choose another bad habit to tackle. Many times, our bad habits have triggers or cues that precede the behavior. Triggers might be events, people, or feelings that cause you to want to participate in the bad habit. Once you have chosen a habit to change, take a look at your environment to see if you can identify when, where, and why you are engaging in the behavior. Changing behavior patterns is easier if you can identify and then remove the cue. For example, maybe you have a bad habit of eating junk food when you are stressed. Stress is the trigger in this case, so figuring out good stress management skills will help you to be more relaxed and therefore be less inclined to overindulge in junk food. Changing your environment to remove the cues for bad habits and increase cues for good habits will make you more successful at changing your behavior. Another great tip for changing bad habits is to figure out a positive habit with which to replace it. Think back to the previous example of eating junk food when you feel stressed. The replacement behavior for eating junk food could be eating fruits or vegetables. You could also replace eating junk food with exercise or meditation, which, incidentally, are both great ways to reduce stress. Giving yourself an alternative behavior to replace your bad habit will give you something more to do than just sit around thinking about how badly you want to go back to your old habit. Then you will be less likely to revert to the behavior you are trying to eliminate. Take some time to think through the obstacles that might crop up and make it hard for you to succeed in changing your habits. You might figure out the obstacles because of previous failures, or by researching the pitfalls that others have run into as they sought to make similar changes. Try to anticipate your obstacles and create a plan to follow when you run into those obstacles. If your bad habit is stress eating junk food, throw away all the junk food in your house to remove that temptation. Stock your pantry or fridge with healthy snacks that are tasty. Pack a gym bag or have your running shoes by the door so that when your stress levels rise, you are ready to go exercise. If your replacement activity is going to be meditation, have a guided meditation or some soft music queued up in your playlist and prepare a quiet place to sit. Whatever the bad habit is, Removing the obstacles for change will make it easier for you to succeed in establishing new patterns. Keep in mind that when creating a new habit, repetition and consistency is of the utmost importance. New habits take time to form, and you may have to work at it for several weeks before the new behavior is ingrained in your brain. Pairing the new behavior with existing patterns will also help you to embed the new behavior into your daily routine. For example, if your goal is to make meditation a part of your life, you might pair the act of meditating with another activity you do on a daily basis, like eating lunch. If, after eating lunch every day, you set aside 10 minutes in a quiet place to meditate, the repetition of that behavior, paired with the ritual of eating lunch, will soon cement that new pattern into your brain and make it your default behavior. Repetition, consistency, and pairing activities help to establish new habits as permanent features of your behavior. Sometimes you set out to change your behavior with the best of intentions, but then life throws you a curveball and you find yourself unable to follow through with your plan 100%. If that's the case, think of baby steps you can take to reinforce the new behavior and achieve your goals. Remember how important repetition is to creating a new habit. For example, if you are trying to exercise instead of stress eating, but you feel short on time or just out of shape, start by doing 10 jumping jacks every time you feel the urge to eat. The next week, you might increase it to 20 jumping jacks, or 10 jumping jacks and 10 sit-ups. Each week, you can add something to your routine until you have a full 30-minute workout planned. The point is, even if you can't commit 100% to your goal, do something to keep yourself on track and reinforce the new behavior. Another seriously effective technique for changing behavior is creating a system of accountability for yourself. One technique for holding yourself accountable is logging your progress. You might write in a journal, keep a daily behavior chart, or ask a person who supports your goal to check in with you. Tracking your progress in this way will help to keep you motivated. Even more helpful than a single individual checking in on you is an entire community of like-minded people who are trying to effect similar changes in their life. When you have a community that supports your goals, you know you always have someone to reach out to when you feel discouraged or overwhelmed. Members of your community will be there to reassure you that change is possible and to affirm you in your progress. Finally, one of the most effective strategies for changing behavior is to make a written plan. Having an idea in your head is not enough. Take some time to write your goal down and plan out exactly how you will achieve that goal. You might begin by naming the bad habit you wish to change and the new habit you plan to replace it with. You should establish a start date and an end date that allows you plenty of time to really embed the new pattern into your brain. You should list the triggers and cues that make you crave the old behavior and how you will alter your environment to eliminate those triggers or cues. Also try to list other obstacles that might make it difficult for you to succeed and strategies for overcoming those obstacles. Figure out how you will hold yourself accountable to your commitment, for example, logging your progress or creating a community of people who will support and check in on you. Lastly, you might decide on a reward that you will give yourself when you finally succeed in achieving your goal. Certainly, you will find that changing a bad habit is not easy. You will falter, but don't give up. Use failure as a learning experience that fleshes out obstacles that you didn't originally foresee. The next time you try to enact a change, you will have new wisdom to guide you and help you succeed. Keep in mind that new habits take time, as many as several weeks to form. Don't change your focus too soon before a new behavior becomes habit. Above all, remember that change is possible, and you can do it if you make a plan and stick to it.